Wow. That was a that was a wild hockey game. Holy smokes. I need to hydrate. I feel like I had a workout watching that game. Post-game recap. Let's just jump right into it, Oilers fans. So, first period, Edmonton was looking for their 9th straight home win. Nugent Hopkins was out with some kind of illness. I think he has the flu. He was a scratch today. Skinner got the start. -9 goal differential in period 2, the last 11 games for the Oilers. Now, I wrote that before the game even started, and that's going to be important later. So, 8 o'clock scheduled start time, 8:23 p.m. puck drop. NHL, what are we doing? What are we doing? Do you hate your fans that much? Just start the game on time next time. Holy smokes. Like, why do we have to wait so long? So McLeod took an early tripping penalty. Grizzly got injured on the Bruins. Bruins power play was 1 for their last 21, and Edmonton's penalty kill was 10 for its last 20. Something had to give. Brown got a good shot on the penalty kill, but then Morgan Geekie scored on the power play to make it 1-0 Boston. DeBrusk had a good chance saved by Skinner. Bruins were coming in waves in the first period. Swayman made a good save on Fogle. McLeod also had a good chance. Fogle then stuffs one home. He's looked good on the top line, and he had a really good game, actually. That entire top line, Fogle, McDavid, Hyman, absolutely terrific. Warren Fogle, you can't ask for any more from him stepping in the absence of Nugent Hopkins tonight. Skinner made a big save on Boqvist. I wrote that he was playing well since the goal against, and he was. Skinner had a great first period. The rest of the game, we can make the argument that he really did struggle, but we'll talk about it a little bit more tomorrow and the day after. Tonight's just a recap. McDavid drew a power play. Kane was on power play unit 1 with Nugent Hopkins out. Bruins had a couple of looks at the end of the period. It was a high event period. End of 1, the score was 1-1. The shots were 12-12, and the expected goals were 1.86 to 1.02 for Boston. Now, Boston had almost 2 full expected goals after the first period. They came out swinging. The Oilers came out a little bit flat, but they still had their own chances as well. And then in the second period, first shift, Brad Marchand scored on an angle that Stuart Skinner has to save. I am a Stuart Skinner defender. I will defend him to death. I cannot defend that goal against on Skinner. And actually, there was a couple tonight that I just couldn't defend at all. People will say Marchand sniped it. No. Pasternak sniped in the third period. That's a snipe. Marchand's shot, that should be saved 99 out of 100 times. And then Boston then makes it 3-1 not long after that. Frederick redirected a puck in front. I wrote the Oilers were struggling with basic breakouts out of their zone. Top line continued to have good looks, though. And then the Oilers at this point had given up 15 goals in their last 5 1/4 second periods played, which is outrageous. Corey Perry fought Wotherspoon. I thought it was a great fight. Corey Perry got the instigator, though. Oilers make the kill, 1 for 2 on the night. We love that 50% on the penalty kill. That's just how it's been for Edmonton lately. Then Ryan McLeod had a shift with Brown and Kane. I didn't like that Brown and Kane were together because I've talked about the analytics of those two together. Usually not very good. Janmark got a shift with Gagne and Holloway. Oilers didn't get a power play. Holloway had his stick slashed and broken, but the Oilers never really got set up on the power play at all. They were 0 for 2 at this point. Hyman then stopped on an unreal setup by McDavid. Then DeBrusk scores to make it 4-1 Boston. Brown, CC, Nurse, and Janmark all at this point were -2 on the game, and I did not like any of those players' games at all at this point. Fogle responded, though, from the DeBrusk goal, makes it 4-2, and then an unbelievable shift near the end of the second period. The Oilers had almost 3 straight minutes of pressure in Boston's zone. They forced the Bruins to ice it a couple times. They had 2 or 3 really good looks. Connor Brown had a great chance. If he could just elevate the puck, just get the puck off the ice, Connor Brown, what are we doing, please? Oh, I'm so frustrated. End of the second, it was 4-2 Boston. The Oilers have been outscored 16-5 in their last 3 games in the second period. That is outrageous. What is going on in that second period? I'm going to try and do some stat digging. I'm going to try and see if there's any kind of comparable narrative to talk about, because the Oilers' second period, I've never seen a team this bad in the second period before. I don't understand where this is coming from. End of 2. 4-2 Bruins, shots were 24-23 for Boston, and the expected goals were 2.85 to 2.70 for Boston. So they still had the edge in the analytics as well. Third period, Bob Stauffer, before the period started, he called out CC and Knobloch's zone defense, which I thought was very interesting from Bob Stauffer. I don't think he was very happy with Cody CC at that point in the game. On the DeBrusk goal, Cody CC was like 40 feet away from the front of the net because the zone defense, he was he was following his guy, and it led to the 2-on-1 behind him. Not good coverage at all from CC. But in the third period, when we talk about how bad Edmonton has been in the seconds, their third periods have been terrific. They have a plus 29 goal differential in third periods during their 20-3 stretch. Oilers need something, anything from the bottom six, I wrote. Draisaitl got a shift with Kane and Perry. And then I wrote, every shift that Brown is on the ice, the Oilers are getting cooked. And at that point of the third period, Brown had 2 shifts, and both shifts, Boston was just hemming Edmonton in the zone. Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl got a quick shift together. I wrote Chris Knobloch's blender is going. I don't like it. He ended up kind of stabilizing a little bit, but we will talk about Chris Knobloch as well tomorrow in the day after video. Oilers had 1 shot, only 5:30 into the period, but then Cody Ceci scores. No, the puck squeaked through Jeremy Swayman's arm, and Janmark knocked it home. And fun fact on Janmark's goal, that is the first goal that he has scored with his own stick. He actually shot the puck into the net this time. It didn't just hit his butt or face, which is awesome. And then not long after that, Corey Perry ties the game at 4. It was a shot from Nurse. The rebound bounced out to Corey Perry, who stuffed it home. Oilers were really pouring it on at this point. And I wrote, there needs to be a study on the Oilers' second period team versus their third period team, because it's night and day. It's Jekyll and Hyde. No idea how Edmonton is able to play this well in the third, but they just can't seem to play like that for a full 60 minutes. Pasternak then makes it 5-4. CC and Kane both had opportunities to get it out. Evander Kane specifically had 2 chances to get that puck out and did not. He just kind of threw it away. Pasternak with a snipe. Skinner kind of waved his blocker at it. Now that's a sniper's goal. There will be people mad at Skinner. I totally understand. Hyman then ties the game just a minute and 20 seconds later, though. 5-5. What the heck is this game doing? It's crazy. Oilers are awarded a power play with 20 seconds left, and it headed to overtime. At the end of the third period, the score was 5-5. The shots were 39-36 Oilers, and the expected goals were 4.55 to 2.72 in favor of Edmonton. The Oilers completely dominated the third period. They absolutely poured it on, and they probably deserved the win in this game. But as we will quickly discuss, Boston wins in overtime. But in the OT, the Oilers had a minute and 40 of 4-on-3. Swayman absolutely robbed Leon Draisaitl. Bouchard took a couple shots that missed the net, and then Skinner stopped Van Riemsdyk on a breakaway. But then Evander Kane got out there with Ryan McLeod and Darnell Nurse. They got stuck out there. They iced the puck. And Charlie McAvoy won it for Boston 6-5. Skinner came out. He tried to poke check it. He didn't. He wasn't really in a position to make a proper poke check, and then Darnell Nurse couldn't get back in time. But that one's not really on Nurse, in my opinion. That whole shift with Kane and McLeod and Nurse, I'd put more on Evander Kane, in my personal opinion. End of the game, 6-5 Boston. Shots were 44-35 in favor of Edmonton, and the expected goals were 5.06 to 3.43 for the Oilers. Absolutely wild game. I am exhausted after watching it. It is very late. Normally I do a bit more of a breakdown during these post-game recaps. Oh my God, I can't even talk. I will have lots to talk about tomorrow in the day after segment. So if you guys like this recap, make sure you hit like. If you really liked it, make sure you hit subscribe. Sucks that Edmonton lost, but at least they get a Bettman point. In the pregame report, I was complaining about Bettman points, but Edmonton gets one here. And I guess the story is you can't just keep fighting back. You can't keep falling behind the second period and expecting to win with a strong third. Edmonton needs to start playing 60 minutes. That's the takeaway here. But you guys have a wonderful night. Subscribe if you really like the video. I can't remember if I reminded you guys to subscribe. You guys take care. I will see you tomorrow.